Hey everybody, welcome back to the Show and Tell Show. We're here again for another week with artifacts from the collection out of Penetanguishene Centennial Museum with Nicole and Jan, and then artifacts from Huronia Museum with Genevieve and Nina Hani. So we threw out a challenge, crafty tools, because there's so many cool things that come in from our crafters in North Simcoe. Neat tools that, you know, some of them we don't know what they are and others we do, and they're just all so neat. I love a good gadget. Anyway, we threw out the challenge. So Genevieve, what do we have at Huronia Museum?
Okay, so our tool is used in the midway point. It's used for making thread. It's used in the midway point from turning this wool into a woven item like this sample that I've got right here. So once you have, I'm not going to do the demonstration of like the entire process. Once you have spun the wool or yarn, your cotton, whatever it is you've spun, you can unwind it directly from the spindle of the spinning wheel or a bobbin to make skeins. And those skeins are of measurable lengths. And that's what this tool here does behind me. I've got it, we're in the kitchen right now. Unfortunately, I could not demonstrate on the floor because we have visitors. So I didn't want to get in their way. So I brought this artifact into the museum's kitchen. So what we've got here is what's called a clock reel. And the wool is wound, the thread like this is wound from those spindles or bobbins onto the ends of the arms of this reel. And this reel, I've measured the circumference is 75 inches in diameter. But what's really interesting is, I'm going to turn it around and bring it, actually I'll bring it close to you so you can see. Hopefully you can see. It's very difficult maybe. I don't know how much you can see there.
I can see
this is the mechanism that makes that clock reel, or turn it in from a regular old reel into a clock reel. And you can see there's a threaded cog up here and then gears. And what happens is this is a measuring device. So as I turn the wheel and the thread, the yarn is wound onto those arms, what happens is there's a small pin on that gear. And you have to listen for it.
Wait for it.
Here we go.
Oh,
that,
Yeah.
that click or the clap or that popping noise. That indicates to me that I have made 40 revolutions of that wheel. And now I know that I have 40 times 75, which is, I think it was 83 yards of yarn. I don't know the significance of 83 yards. I weave and I've never heard any significance to that. But what that gives you is a nice open kind of length of yarn that you can then either wind into balls or you can then use to dye. And that when you dye it, it allows all of the yarn to be, I guess, available to accept the dye. If you try to dye a tight ball of yarn, most of that yarn is in the center of the ball. Yeah. So anyway, that's what that's for. That's called a clock reel, and it's really wonderful. I have found, especially if you're a woman with small children and you're trying to create a skein of yarn that's a certain length. If you don't have that clock mechanism on there, it's really difficult for you with children or even a husband to try to keep track of the number of revolutions, and that will count for you. So it's a very handy tool to have. So there you go. There's our clock reel. And this was used in Simcoe County. It was used in Oro Township by, actually in Daisy, by Martha Jones.
Very nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Uh-huh.
Now you weave, so do you actually have one, Genevieve, that you actually use?
No, I do not.
You
No,
do.
I have what's called a warping board. So I measure I get my cones already of yarn or thread or wool. I get them from a factory. I don't make them myself. So I just wind them right onto the warping board, and that creates skeins of a known length for me. So yes, that's but this is still unavailable. It's still some women still do use them. I'm not sure if it's necessary today or whether they just like to use something that's old.
Very cool. Very cool. What do you have over at Penetanguishene Centennial Museum?
All right, for us, ours is a little bit smaller. You might also have one of these in your collection. I know a few other museums do. And this is a carpet needle used for rug hooking. And we had a group of rug hookers that usually come here in the summertime when we do our tea and tarts. And I haven't seen them use one of these. Theirs looks a little bit more complicated with the needles that they have. This is a much faster way. There is a video I did find on YouTube, and I will link that down in the description if anybody wants to take a look at this in practice, because I don't rug hook, so I'm not going to do it in practice. But really, this was patented in 1882 and from Ross, and it was originally made in Ohio. And you just thread it through the top here. There's some little holes there, or a hole there, and you come through, and then you run the material through here, and then you just take it from the back. And you just work it, you just work it like this, and it's a really fast way of doing rug hooking from the backside, just with one. And this is definitely something that you could still use today. I think a lot of people, it's still the same kind of design of it, but a lot of people make them now to look the way these were made back in the late 1800s. And yeah, I don't know why the local rug hookers don't do it this way, but it does seem a lot faster. But maybe they just like to be very intricate and to look at from the front. So that's our artifact for today. Do you have one of these in your collection?
I think we do, yes. Yes, I recognize the wooden shape.
Yeah. I think a lot of museums do, because they're kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, really great shape. I don't think it breaks either.
That's an incredible shape. I was going to say the wood is beautiful.
They're really sturdy and well built. Simple.
Yes. Simple.
So what's our challenge for next week?
So
we were thinking that it's it's obviously summertime, and looking out our window here, we see all the boats out on the water. So we thought it'd be fun to go with marine history.
Okie doke.
You're going to challenge us with marine heritage.
I know.
We are.
Okay.
We are. I know.
You know, Jan. We can do that.
You can do that. And yeah, I think we'll both have interesting stories to tell.
I think we will, because Penetanguishene has an incredible marine heritage, story to tell as well. So I think we're going to have some really neat stuff to show next week. So, and I'm sure we'll have some boat nerds. They actually refer to themselves as such, boat nerds.
Oh, do they?
Yes, who will enjoy our artifacts from our marine heritage collections. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so Jan, the next week we're going to not see you. We're going to miss you. You're away on vacation. Right?
I am indeed. Yes.
So
yes,
we're going to
I am.
miss you.
And I'm going to have a good time. Yeah. Well,
you're going to have a good time?
I'll be back.
You'll be back, though.
Yes, and I will come back. I'll be back.
You'll be back. Awesome. Okay, well, have a good vacation, Jan. We're looking forward to seeing you again. We're looking forward to seeing everybody who watches this show every week, because I know we do have a fan base. I've heard about them. I have heard about them. So thanks to all of our fans for watching. Have a good vacation, Jan. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.